The government wants to rid the streets of illegal guns.
We want to create a wedge between the community and criminals who possess guns. In that regard, increased monetary rewards will be offered for information.
As the minister says, the government cannot do it alone. They need the support of you and me to keep us all safe. On today's show, more from the security minister on the Get the Guns campaign and other plans to make Jamaica crime-free. Also in the show, the St. Andrew High School for Girls celebrates its 90th anniversary. Hi there, I'm Theodore Henry, and that and more after the news.
The media landscape is awash with commercials offering a variety of loans, but consumers be cautious about these seemingly attractive deals. Loan companies sometimes practice overlending to consumers and impose excessive fees and onerous contract terms. If you are seeking a loan, try to approach reputable organizations like banks and credit unions. Consider these points before you borrow: the purpose of the loan, the terms and conditions including the type of interest and the associated processing fees, the period for repayment, and other non-interest related charges. If you think a loan offer is misleading or false, contact the Consumer Affairs Commission. Call 906-5425, 906-8568, or 906-0813. They are located at 34 Trafalgar Road, Kingston 10.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Friday, July 22. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says this week's discussion with the International Monetary Fund was positive and fruitful. The Prime Minister hosted a delegation from the International Monetary Fund on Wednesday. He was joined by Finance Minister Audley Shaw, Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter, and other members of the economic team. The IMF delegation was headed by Deputy Director of the Western Hemisphere Department, Nigel Chalk, and Mission Chief for Jamaica, Uma Ramakrishnan. They were in the island to discuss Jamaica's possible re-engagement with the IMF at the end of the current agreement. Prime Minister Holness says the parties agreed that the government's focus on growth and job creation, poverty reduction, and national security should be reflected in and essential to any future program with the IMF. It was also agreed that macroeconomic discipline must be maintained. Earlier in the week, Minister Shaw outlined government's rationale for seeking to extend its engagement with the multilateral organization.
We believe that it is good, it is tidy, it is transparent, that we should continue to have a relationship, a monitoring relationship with the IMF, and we think that it is good all around for Jamaica's program.
The governments of Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago have agreed to prioritize the bilateral framework agreement that's currently under consideration as they work toward enhanced dialogue and cooperation. The decision follows a 4-day working visit to Jamaica by Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley. He left the island yesterday afternoon. In a press briefing with Prime Minister Andrew Holness earlier in the day, the two leaders signed a joint communique detailing the result of their bilateral discussions during the visit. In what the two said were frank and open discussions, an agreement was reached for Jamaica and Trinidad to work towards increasing investment flows between the two countries and the resolution of trade issues.
Prime Minister Rowley and I acknowledged the need for improvements in our trade relations, including the removal of impediments to free trade and the free movement of goods and services between both our countries.
Initiatives will also be explored to strengthen cooperation in the areas of energy, security, tourism, air and sea transportation, and technical and cultural exchanges. The vexing issue of Jamaican nationals being denied entry into Trinidad and their treatment at the hands of immigration officials was also discussed.
And all that's left for me to do is to formally and publicly, on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the government which I head, to extend an invitation to the Prime Minister of Jamaica and his delegation to join us in Trinidad and Tobago at the earliest opportunity so we can continue this dialogue
The future of CARICOM was also central to the bilateral talks, and both Trinidad and Jamaica have agreed that the regional body must be made better able to maximize its benefits to all member states and to respond to external challenges. At another assignment yesterday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness reiterated his call for personal responsibility in the safe use of the nation's roads.
Drive with care. Drive with consideration for fellow road users. Jamaica needs you, your contribution, and your productivity. Your life is in your hands on the roads.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking at the launch of Guardian Group's $60 million mobile medical unit. He pointed out that road crashes have had a devastating effect on the health sector, with preliminary estimates from one study showing that motor vehicle crashes cost over $8 billion in healthcare services. Government will be stepping up efforts to address issues related to teenage pregnancy. Minister of State for Education, Youth and Information, Floyd Green, says this will be done through the Early Stimulation Program.
We're going to be working with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to send community aides in to work with our teenage mothers and fathers to ensure that they have some of the tools needed to stimulate their children in the early stages of life. We have found that children which are stimulated earlier do much better.
He says the national policy to reintegrate teenage mothers into the formal school system is important to national development goals.
Every teenage girl has the right to quality education and training that will allow them to successfully transition into adulthood, irrespective of life's fortune or misfortune. It is an inalienable right worthy of every investment.
Minister Green was speaking at the recent observation of World Population Day in St. Thomas. It was held under the theme, Investing in Teenage Girls, Engaging Men and Boys. And finally, this year's Denby Agricultural and Industrial Show is expected to attract over 100,000 patrons. President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, JAS, Norman Grant, made the projection at a recent JIS think tank. He said 250 exhibitors and sponsors would be showcasing their products and agriculture produce at the 64th staging of the show. Earnings are expected to increase by 15%.
We are estimating this year that the show will generate somewhere in the region of $75 million, up 15% over last year. We estimated that the impact of Denby to the commercial impact to Clarendon and Jamaica is approximately $1 billion. So Denby is huge economic activities in the agricultural sector and for the general economy.
The three-day Denby Agricultural Show will be held from July 30 to August 1. Admission for children will be $400 on all 3 days, while adults will pay $900 and $1,000 over the 3 days. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Tessan, and I want all you young people to listen to me very carefully. Crime doesn't pay. You can do so much with your life. Don't throw it away in some gang. Stay in school and work hard for what it is you want. It's up to you. Your future will be determined by the decisions you make. Remember, a gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
The government has devised a 5-point strategic plan to tackle crime. National Security Minister Robert Montego laid out the plan in Parliament recently. Let's find out how you can assist to reclaim Jamaica land we love.
We as a government has decided to make tackling crime our #1 priority. The police are targeting a 60% clear-up rate for murders. We intend to help them to go further. We are strengthening the investigative abilities of the force, making them more mobile, increasing training, and treating with this bail issue. We will seek to have an increase in the mandatory minimum sentences for gun crimes, trafficking, and possession, escalating depending on the type of weapon. The minimum should only be reduced by the plea bargaining process. We will seek to have all gun murders classified as capital murder. We will seek this year by better application of the plea bargaining law to reduce or eliminate the penalty if credible information is given in order to retrieve a gun or disrupt the trade. We want to create a wedge between the community and criminals who possess guns. In that regard, increased monetary rewards will be offered for information. We have devised a strategy that has 5 elements that will provide the basis of a short to long-term program that fits within the objectives of Vision 2030 and the realities of our resources. The first element, Mr. Speaker, deals with the justice system. We need swift and sure justice in Jamaica. The second element is social development. The third element is situational prevention. How to change the current situation, reducing opportunities for crime, and give our people hope. Our fourth element is effective policing. A community-based approach to policing is essential if we are to restore yours, Mr. Speaker, and the people's trust and confidence in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We intend to launch a consultative committee in every parish and for every police station. We will utilize this cadre of people to assist in reducing domestic-related violence. We intend to increase the neighborhood watches and youth clubs. The fifth and final element is rehabilitation and redemption. We must redirect our inmates from a path of crime. I will now detail as much as I can some of the actions we are pursuing in order to protect our borders, minimize the terrorist risk, reduce crime, and grow the economy. We are going to be putting in place a broad-based committee headed by Dr. Orville Taylor to involve representatives from civil society, the media, trade unions, academia, and other sector interests. The committee will guide on policy, set standards, and evaluate benchmarks and give general advice to me as Minister on national security and our policies. One of their first tasks will be to set a timetable on all the recommendations that have been made over the last 20 years for implementation. The Evaluation Center in the ministry is already compiling all the studies and recommendations. This administration is going to, over a 3-year period, make the largest investment in the national security apparatus in our history. We are not talking millions, but billions. We will invest because we want a safer Jamaica, safer communities, and safer homes. The movement of drugs, people, and guns is too free and frequent. We have ordered an audit of our borders. We, along with the Ministry of Agriculture, will be acquiring the appropriate technology and deploying it to treat with the security on our borders and for our resources. On the legislative front, we intend to be very active. A National Security Act, the Police Civilian Oversight Commission Act, we intend to place pre-their larceny under the Proceeds of Crime Act, amend the Offensive Weapon Act to include more knives. We intend to bring to Parliament in short order the MOCA bill. This will, in effect, make MOCA a standalone agency. As a country, we cannot afford crime. I urge everyone to help, and everyone can. Download the Stay Alert app from the Google Play Store. Take pictures, text, videotape, anything and everything, and send it to the police. Be your own police. Use the camera on your phone as your weapon, your safety device, your bodyguard. It is your means of contributing to a safer Jamaica. This government will lead, but we need your help in creating a safer country.
Were you abandoned by your parents, placed in state care or any other residential child care facility, feeling rejected, wondering what the future holds? Be encouraged. There are others who were just like you but rose above the odds.
Even though it was challenging, I lived on the street, I dropped out of high school, got pregnant, but since then I have started several businesses in the United States. I have 3 degrees, so there is hope for you. Don't look at the fact that somebody rejected you. There's greatness inside of you.
Remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Today's School Zone sees us visiting the St. Andrew High School for Girls for their 90th Open Day celebrations. It happened a while back, but we've got the highlights today. Plus, students from the Shortwood Practicing School learn how to vote.
The St. Andrew High School for Girls celebrates 90th anniversary this year. And in today's School Zone, we give you highlights. Then later.
We are winners of excellence. Therefore, we will be great leaders.
The Shortwood Practicing Infant, Primary and Junior High School selects its student leaders through a general election. Let's get the show started.
Living more abundantly, we'll strive for victory. Living more abundantly, we'll strive for victory.
The St. Andrew High School for Girls has a fine history and legacy of producing women of class and talent. It has been doing so for 90 years. To celebrate that milestone, the institution hosted its Open Day exercise recently.
Our Open Day showcase our progress in terms of education. We're dealing with a different generation, and this generation, they like to touch, they like to see, and they like to ask why. So when you put them on a device and you can show them how they can access that information, then you find that your classes move more quickly and the students are much more attentive and they learn better.
Case in point.
We have this math wheel that we can print out, so you can do your multiplication on it. So you can spin the numbers to say 9 times 2 is 18, things like that, right? So I mean, it can be applied to any field. So as long as you have an idea, you can put it down physically, you can print it out for you.
What you would do is you select a category, whether it's for 100, 200. So you select a category, the question comes up. What is communication? Person has to make a guess, of course. After that, click on the slide again, answer comes up. Then it goes back to the beginning. So that's how we play our Jeopardy. It's a very interactive game and it helps them with recall of information.
Aside from the various demonstrations, students were also able to showcase their work in a number of areas, including home economics.
Right here, we have some of the pieces from the food and nutrition department, where the students made stuff like barbecued liver, fried dumpling, just things to showcase the things on our syllabus. We need to know how to sew. We're not going to always have our parents with us, stuff like that when we go, oh, we need these skills. Simple things like knowing how to cook, knowing how to sew, just learning how to help ourselves. So these skills are very important.
Poetry.
We were soulmates at first. He was kind at first, but kindness lasts only for a time. The bruises were dark, the scars for life.
Art in its various forms.
We thought it'd be a good idea to have living arts bring art to life in a way.
How did you use the bag juice bags to make this?
Right here, this is bag juice bags right here. These are about how many? Oh yes, 7 in total. So there are bag juice bags here and also some at the side. So it also adds texture, it adds interest to the piece, and it's eco-friendly, right?
Can I touch it?
So yes, you can touch it. So you can.
Okay, it's really nice.
So that's how we use the bag juice bags in the pieces. So the entire exhibition is about raising awareness on plastic pollution.
The girls certainly did a great job as they showcased the various ways they have turned trash to treasure.
The dress that I created, it was entitled Recycling in Jamaica. It was basically a combination of newspaper and scandal bag.
We realized that the place is being more polluted and that's causing like dangers to animals, and it decreases biodiversity in the environment, which is very important.
Good job, guys. Girls. And it wouldn't be a full day without some fun and entertainment.
Tom Cruise. I really feel that. Tom Cruise.
Life more abundant.
Well, guys, I hope you've gained some knowledge so far. What I especially liked, in addition to my 2 mannequins, was the art display from Lauren Silvera featuring recycled material. Up next in the Zone News.
Hello and welcome to In the Zone News. I'm Dominic Badu. The students of Sherwood practicing now have a first-hand experience of how to vote after they all took part in the school first general elections. Take a look.
Valeriana, before you place your ballot papers in the senior or junior candidate box, you should place your writing index finger in the hole right there. Now, Rihanna, I'll be folding back the ballot papers. This is for the senior candidate, so you place it in the senior ballot box. And this is for the senior candidate box. So you place it there. No, sorry, it will be folded. And this is for the junior candidate. Thank you for voting.
So that is the general process, and we are following the electoral process to the T in terms of the voting and the casting of the vote and the instruments that are used by EOJ.
Based on the students' feedback, it was a free and fair election. Congrats to the student leaders.
I made my choice because the candidates displayed the qualities of a great leader. It can help you when you're growing up and you're going to vote for who you want to vote for.
How were you convinced to vote for who you did?
Because they promised us things that they would give us, and they wouldn't break that promise.
Let's hope they don't. Well, that's a wrap on today's show. See you next time on School Zone.
Time is money.
Easy driver. Well, no mean must man and taxi driver drive so bad.
Why him have to drive so hard? Me not gonna make you kill off me and me picnic them.
One stop driver. Make her come off this bus. Me say stop.
Me coming with you. The rest will not take chance when in life. Lord of mercy. That could have been us.
And look how we want the money.
Passengers, your safety is in your hands. Say one-stop driver and get off if the driver is speeding, overtaking recklessly, and not obeying the rules of the road. Don't give away your life. It is too precious.
How are really going on the road? At least 11 people killed in less than a week? Come on, Jamaicans, we can do better. It's really not that hard to obey the rules of the road. Passengers, that includes you. Whether you're in a public transport vehicle or being driven by a friend or relative, speak up if something is wrong. Don't be afraid. Don't be coward. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging all Jamaicans to be responsible in using our nation's roads. Mr. Holness says he's deeply concerned that more than 200 persons have died in road crashes since the start of the year. He is appealing to road users to take special care as they use thoroughfares.
I'm deeply concerned by the number of Jamaicans killed on our roads. Over 200 since the start of the year. Safety on our roads is our responsibility.
Remember, we want to be a developed nation by 2030. Not obeying the rules of the road, such as not wearing a seatbelt or a helmet when we should, will not allow us to become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
Are
you committed to Jamaica's growth and development? Would you like to work on high-impact projects in a fast-paced environment? Do you have a record of outstanding professional achievement and leadership skills? Then, welcome to the Jamaica House Fellowship and the most exciting 2 years of your life. Apply now at opm.gov.jm/Jamaica House Fellowship or call toll-free 1-888-429-5543. That is 1-888-429-5543. The Jamaica House Fellowship. Applications close August 2, 2016.
My sweet Jamaica, hey, whoa, yeah, hey, whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah, hey, we don't love no way like Jamaica, because no one does feel like Jamaica, whoa, yeah, because I will not leave sweet Jamaica, end up in a foreign land. Things we achieve should be blessed by the Father, mighty, 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 and we don't love no way like Jamaica. Because no one does feel like Jamaica. Oh, yeah. Well, Columbus came when him lost the way. Here was the right choice, but him kill and him thief. When him never put down and say, Lord, Jamaica nice, the pretty white sand beach. Make the tourists come, the land of paradise, then come for your peace. In a tourist resort, all who love Jamaica will be on them. We don't love the way like Jamaica. Oh, yeah, yeah. Because no one else feel like Jamaica. Oh, nice little country, oh, yeah. Because I will not reach Jamaica, end up in a foreign land. Things we achieve should be blessed by the Father, mighty, 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 and we don't love the way like Jamaica. Yeah, whoa, yeah, because no one else feel like Jamaica.
We've come to the end of Jamaica Magazine for this Friday. Thanks for spending time with us. Remember to keep up to date with the latest government info. Join us online at jis.gov.jm, at our YouTube channel or social media platforms. You may also catch a new edition of Jamaica Magazine tomorrow on this station. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching and have yourselves a great evening.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.